Jeff Graham was speaking as the most senior member, leading the US delegation to the International AIDS Conference and opening his own pre-conference. So protesters from Haiti, from South Africa, from the US, from many directly impacted countries and communities gathered in the pre-conference meeting room and interrupted Jeff Graham as he was speaking and marched to the front of the stage, chanting and holding signs. And then we addressed the pre-conference, and our words elicited applause. And many, many people in the audience actually stood up and applauded what we had to say. And our denunciation was clear that the administration's anti-gender, anti-science, illegal attacks on PEPFAR and other global health programs are deadly, that they need to be reversed, that they are in defiance of the separation of powers, that they speak to not just an unspeakably cruel approach of the administration, but they also reflect a deeper constitutional crisis that we're experiencing, one where global health and HIV was actually first in the crosshairs. I think in large part because mistakenly the administration assumed no one would care about it and that it would be an easy house of cards to destroy. In this case, because activism helped create PEPFAR, there's a movement that exists to support it. Not because it's perfect, but because we recognize that it's one of the few things in the global aid architecture that's actually generated impact and results for real, directly impacted communities, and we're not going to give up without a fight. So we zapped Jeff Graham shortly after he continued speaking. That's when he did such outrageous and really laughably incompetent things as put up a map of Africa that had countries in the wrong places. Imagine rejecting such a grave error at the preeminent scientific conference on HIV and other infectious diseases as the acting global HIV ambassador. What a shame. And what a really pitch perfect reflection of the deep shame that the US government should feel. I mean, I think many of my comrades from around the world were shocked that the US government even dared to open their mouths at such a conference, much less to hold an entire pre-conference, given the long chain, the long tail of clinical harm, the breach of trust, the human rights violations that have come in the wake of the actions of the Trump administration since last January. But it's not all bad news. There are some important signs of progress and some indication that evidence-based advocacy, people power are actually having a positive result even on this intransigent administration.